What is up, guys? Rick Hack is here with finally a sunny day. Now I'm here with another Pokemon Go video for you guys today. This time we are taking a look at a technique that you guys can use to find the best places to find Pokemon. That's right, you're gonna be able to see in your neighborhood where are the best places to go to catch Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So let's get started. Now, to understand this method and why it works, we need to take a closer look at Pokemon Go and the company who made it, Niantic. Now, Niantic has actually made more games before it made Pokemon Go. Most importantly, it made a game called Ingress. Ingress is yet another GPS-based game where you wander the real world and get points for your mobile game. And you can actually go to, for example, the Google Play Store, go to the Pokemon Go app, and it's gonna say, hey, more games made by Niantic, and Ingress is right there. Now at this point, you're probably wondering a few things. Why are we talking about an entirely different game? I thought this was a Pokemon Go guide. Is this YouTuber actually making a guide video and not a 17-minute long vlog that has nothing to do with the title? All of those things are legit questions. But the reason we're talking about Ingress is because it's extremely important to why Pokemon Go was created. Guys, Pokemon Go exists. Niantic made Pokemon Go strictly because of Ingress. And this is where this tip is all going to start to unfold. You see, if I go to this local park in my community, it's like always a great place to find people playing Pokemon Go. All of these people are playing Pokemon. All of them. It's pretty amazing. And I'm sure you guys can immediately see from the Pokemon Go screen why this park is popular. I mean, there's like 6 or 7 Pokestops all in a row around this park. So it's just like a huge cluster of Pokestops, and most of them often there's going to be baited ones, so it just draws people in. But here's where things get crazy. If I go in this location, I'm at this park with the circle of Pokestops, and I switch from Pokemon Go to Ingress. This is the crazy part because you can see it's the exact same Pokestops, right? Like it is the exact same locations in the exact same circle. In fact, I can click one of these in Ingress. They're called portals, and it's this blue signpost. I go back into Pokemon Go. Guess what? Click the same Pokestop. It is the same exact location. So what is going on here? Well, Pokemon Go got its Pokestops from Ingress. The reason Pokestops exist and the reason the Pokestops are what they are is because Ingress players went around and designated these areas as points of interest. The inner workings, the infrastructure of Ingress was directly used to create Pokemon Go. However, the Pokestops and the portals being the exact same places are not the only things these two games share. Again, they share the same infrastructure, they share the same inner workings, and one of the main things they share is the same way to kind of get points. In Ingress, the more happening a place is, and you can see from the Ingress screen, certain places are just have clusters of little dots. Well, these dots actually represent data usage. So if people are walking around using mobile data, there's going to be more of these dots in that area. So you can see these dots around, usually around the portals, the Pokestops, where a lot of people are gathering, but also kind of off in the distance around nothing else, there happens to be a few dots clumped together. That's just a few people there using their cell phones or whatever. But this is important because, again, that's how you get points in Ingress. It tracks data usage. It tracks how many people are using data in a certain area. But guess what? Because the inner workings are the same in both games, Pokemon Go does the exact same thing. And in Pokemon Go, the results are actually kind of the same, where you get more points for more happening areas in terms of data usage. I'm sure you guys have noticed this for yourselves. You get a lot more Pokemon spawning when you're in a city center compared to when you're in a rural area. Like if you're in the middle of a field, not many Pokemon are spawning, but if you're in a Walmart, there's Pokemon left and right. However, Pokemon Go does not show where the data usage is. You cannot whip out your Pokemon Go and see where the most happening spots are. Sometimes you can just determine that, like if there's a bunch of Pokestops all baited, obviously there's going to be a decent amount of Pokemon and people there, but other times it's not that easy to tell. And here is where the tip will start to make sense. Guys, the tip for determining the best places to go to catch Pokemon is to download Ingress. It's completely free, made by the same people who made Pokemon Go. Make an account. I don't even play the game, but what you can do is, if you're wondering where the best places to go to catch Pokemon are, you take out Ingress, you look around, and you can very clearly see by these little dots, by the clumps of data, where the most, there's no other word for it, where the most lit places are to catch Pokemon, because they're going to have the most data activity. I actually have started using this all the time. For example, if I'm in a park and there's a couple of baited Pokestops to the right and there's a couple of baited Pokestops to the left, which direction do I go in? I whip out Ingress and I can usually immediately see which right or left places have, more happening data usage. And whatever one looks more clustered, has more dots, usually you can just very quickly visually tell where it is. That's the one you go to, because that is mathematically going to be the place that spawns the most Pokemon, because again, Pokemon Go and Ingress share the same infrastructure underneath their design. Now, unfortunately, I can't claim this method is going to fill your inventory with Dratinis and Aerodactyls or anything, because this method doesn't determine rarity, it's just sheer number of Pokemon spawns. So you may end up catching more rare Pokemon just because more Pokemon are spawning at the higher data usage areas. But it is definitely a useful tip to have in a Pokemon Go player's arsenal. Like if you're in the suburbs, there's probably only 1 or 2 Pokestops kind of around you, and if you want to know which the best one to go to is, whip out Ingress, see which one has more data usage, and go to that one. So guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this tip helpful. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. Now, if you want to see more Pokemon Go content in the future, I may indeed do some more, so don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. I also do tons of Destiny content, so if you're into that game, I would definitely check that out as well. Now, if you want to get in touch with me, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at Rickakis. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day. Now, I got to play Titanfall 2 recently at EA Play. I was invited out to LA to attend a special Titanfall 2 event where myself and a few other YouTubers were able to play the game for a decent amount of time early. We were also given some exclusive Titanfall 2 multiplayer gameplay, which you can see playing in the background during this video. A lot of it was from the trailer, but there's actually quite a bit of it kind of extended beyond what was in the trailer, and actually featuring some new weapons that weren't seen in the official multiplayer trailer, so that's definitely pretty cool for Titanfall fans. Now let's get started by discussing what new features were added in the Titanfall 2 multiplayer.